Hello there everybody and welcome to a new video for Age of Wonders 4. This one is a guide for a one dragon army. So I'm going to explain to you how you can transform your dragon ruler into something that can just annihilate entire army stacks all on its own. I have seen videos and footages of people pulling off victories with their dragon ruler alone against 3 army stacks. So it is possible, and this video tries to introduce to you the ideas how and why it is so much fun. I'm not gonna give you a perfect build because this video is about showing you the ropes for you to create your and one dragon army builds, so let's get started. First off, I want to explain what we're doing here. To successfully annihilate troop stacks on the enemy side, we're relying on a couple of things. For one, Dragon Breath. Use it in your favorable size. I like the Comet one, but other sizes surely will use as well, are usable as well. We use the Tail Swipe, which is a massive attack, 35 damage, that's really a lot, and we're relying on several other little tricks to get the job done, mostly healing. The healing part is something your Dragon Lord cannot really fulfill on his own at the beginning, but the longer it goes and the more upgrades you choose, slash when you choose the right base types, you get that more and more done by yourself. So first, we're going to talk about that healing part. So I strongly recommend you to pick up a tome to get that problem solved. That's always the easiest part. So you can either go for the Tome of Roots, so you can pick up healing roots. Tome of Evolution does the job too, with youthful rejuvenation. Or you go for the High Culture, which has a healing spell on their own. Whatever you do, it is important that you bring some sort of healing skill to the table. You might as well use the Tome of Faith for the Mending Touch ability. Whatever you do, you will need some healing for the first few levels, because this trick works mostly or most effectively if you don't have any other troops than your dragon, so he can soak up all the experience for himself. You can of course put a supporter or whatever assistance unit right next to him, but this slows down your evolution, but it's no shame if it doesn't work out otherwise. So that's the basics. You are utilizing regenerative skills, and as soon as you are high enough, you pick up aspects. So level 4 unlocks the first aspect. I personally would recommend for this playstyle Nature or Materium. The Nature one you see here, 20 HP, and the Watchful trait. It's just one more retaliation attack, but it's really good for this measure. Or you go Materium, which gives you 2 physical defense points and critical hit chance, which is also massive for this build. So just to explain it, critical hits are very important or powerful for this one, because we work with really large numbers, and therefore critical hits really do shine. What's also very useful in this regard is whatever artifacts in these slots you can acquire, or rings that you can pick up for your dragon. Here I wasn't lucky at all and it still worked, but the more of these items you pick up, the easier. So okay, so I'm going to show you how this thing works now in action before we go on over how to get there. So this is just a really easy stack, and this is doable far before level 12 alone. Basically, what you need for this build, your dragon will need some help to get to level 2 or 3. You barely can do that alone. I don't know if you can. If so, tell me how. I haven't really made it reliably, but you can use your troops. But starting from level 2 or 3, depending on your own playstyle, you can go just wild. Here, for this one, I picked up Mass Rejuvenation as a level 8 trait, so I have healing available for or by himself, and now we just let the enemy come towards us. I'm using here my Youthful Rejuvenation for the strengthening stack. Every little buff matters when you're alone, and now we just smack down a breath attack on these. And that already did a lot of the damage there, and here, as you see, they come on in. All goes into the temporary HP buffer, and from that point on you already have won most of the ordeal. What comes in really handy are skills like Terrifying Gorging, which gives you the ability to one-shot people and heal yourself. since you're working against a low quality targets, this really works out well. And what makes it really much easier to bear all this is to pick up the dragon traits. Where are they? Oh well, they're not shown here. The ones that give you more resilience and HP. These are really useful, but since you're leveling like crazy with this method, it's not really hard to have all manner of different abilities. And as you see here, the enemy is already massively crumbling. So this is basically how it already works, but before your dragon has access to his upgraded breath attack, which you saw there, things are a little bit more difficult. When you get the ability to upgrade your breath attack here, that's happening at level 12. So at this point, pick up whatever supports your dragon best at level 8, and at this point, well, there are breath attacks that either heal you, like the nature transformation breath attack that applies regeneration to myself if I stand within it, or the order one to heal yourself, or you go for the stun play style and you go for the materium or astral breath, which allow you to stun the enemy. I'm not sure anymore if the shadow one has freezing as well, but I personally am a big fan of sustain and regeneration. You have to decide for yourself. Order does direct healing, this one just applies regeneration. I preferred this one because of the damage over time effect, and it applies to the enemy. Basically, you can breath and kite after that. So let's showcase how to get there. We've seen the end pod. Alrighty, so here we went a little bit back in time, and this is my dragon before he was that overpowered. So we're back to level 7, and as you see, I only have the nature aspect picked up here. What I did pick up so far were the 2 upgrades of dragon scales. These are really massive upgrades for you. The draconic health and tail swipe and terrifying gorging, and of course the dragon breath upgrade. So these are the parts that I personally found the most helpful in killing off army stacks on your own. And what's also really important is if the HP of your dragon go too low before you have access to strong healing tricks, you really need to rest up every now and then. So this happens best in home territory. So basically, you should really take from time to time a moment to rest up your dragon, but since you gain most of the time an entire level out of each and every encounter, you still power level fairly fast, even if you have to rest up once or twice. So in that part here, we go way less sassy all in as we did the last time. So here I'm now laying back a little bit, applying the youthful regeneration thing, and now I even go back a little bit further. I want to wait out the enemy a little bit. I want to wait until they are at a good positioning to do something to them, because right now, actually, they are not clumped together positively, so we're doing this like that. And let's see. Here we go. That was what I've been waiting for. This is a position where we can now either land or comet, or even better so, we go all in. I heal up one more time. As you see here, it's a mana intense playstyle, and now I just get in that tail sweep. Now, what happened here is the most important part. The enemy is now weakened, and this is one other thing that's worth noting out. The most problematic enemies for this playstyle are single entities, like these flowers. Stacks that are several entities fall victim to this playstyle fairly quick, because of the fact that when the numbers lower, so does the damage. While the numbers are high, well, you see what happens. They deal the full damage. And here, we just close this off. Yes, I did hit myself with the breath attack, but whatever. As you see here, we didn't take too much damage. We level up all the way to level 8, and that is how it's done. So basically, from this point on, well, I picked up here the mass rejuvenation. Viable pick would have been restoration as well. I think what also could come in handy are things that just offer you summons to distract the enemy. Basically, if you don't pick up any summons at any point, I think it is very hard, nigh to impossible, to actually destroy more than 2 full army stacks. all on your own, but it depends. There are very, very many ways and means how to pull this off. And don't forget, when you are on higher levels, you don't need to stop at your Dragon Lord skills. You can totally also go for Warfare at this point to enhance yourself even more. Every little point of stat that you can gain on the dragon really does make a massive difference. Biggest weaknesses to this playstyle are damage over time effects and buff purgers, like the Mystic Spellbreakers and the stuff. This really does put an end to your megalomania, but apart from that, as long as you stack up resistances and regeneration like crazy, your dragon can really do almost everything all on his own. So yeah, I hope this introduction was helpful for you. There are really, really many ways to do this. One thing I wanted to mention here at the very end, you can always pick up auras for your dragons. The nature aura is one of the most potent ones for a one dragon army because it gives your dragon a automatic regeneration. This is bonkers. If you want to go for that playstyle and make it as easy as possible for you to get a foot into the door, nature aura. It's really, really good. Also, you have access to poison really quickly, and the damage over time is really, really useful. Just keep in mind that at level 12 and level 4, the elements of the aspects you pick are your choice and not depending at all on the element you chose at the beginning. So, have fun with your dragons. I hope that was helpful. Leave me in comments down below. A thumbs up would be deeply appreciated. Subscribe to the channel for more of the same kind, and of course, consider checking out the playlist down there full with Age of Wonders 4 videos. See you guys next time, and have a good one.